Bonjour tout le monde, on est ici aujourd'hui pour vous montrer des nouveaux livres qu'on a amenés à la bibliothèque ici à Saint-Pierre. So I'm here today to introduce some of the new books that we've brought in. This is probably going to be the last of the new books that we're going to be presenting before the new year. So if anybody wants to place a hold on any of these books, please email us or call us and we'll place these on hold. So let's get right into it. There's some really good ones in here. We've got some French, we've got some English, we've got kids, you name it, we've got it. So the first one is Lee Child and with Andrew Child. And so this is called Better Off Dead. This is number 26 in the Jack Reacher. This is actually a large print. We've also got this one in regular text, but these are really nice because if you're having trouble with your vision, you could still continue reading, which is really fun. So this is Jack Reacher. Added this to our large print collection. Okay, this one I have personally been waiting for quite a while, several years actually. Some of you are probably familiar with Diana Gabaldon. She is the author of Outlander. And this is book number 9. Outlander series started probably 10 years ago. It's since become a TV series. Not sure where you could watch it, probably on Netflix and a couple other places that you could watch it. So this is number 9, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. And so if some of you are not familiar with this storyline, so I won't give too much away because for those who love this book or this series, but I'll just read to you guys the biography of what this is. So the past may seem the safest place to be, but it is the most dangerous time to be alive. James Fraser and Claire Randall, so those are the two main characters in this series, were torn apart by the Jacobite Rising in 1746, and it took them 20 years to find each other again. Now the American Revolution threatens to do the same. It is 1779, and Claire and Jamie are at last reunited with their daughter, Brianna, her husband, Roger, and their children on Fraser Ridge. Meanwhile, the Revolutionary War creeps ever closer to Fraser's Ridge, and with the family finally together, Jamie, Claire, have more at stake than ever before. So in the very first book in this series, you're introduced to Claire, and Claire is in Scotland, and she goes to the site of ruins. And there's these beautiful standing stones. You'll see those all over Europe. And in the beginning, she somehow mysteriously, magically gets transported into the past where she meets Jamie Fraser, and it's their epic tale that continues throughout. So this is a really good series for somebody. It's got history, it's got romance, it's got intrigue, mystery. There's a little bit of everything in here. So I always recommend this series. It's a really good one. Okay, so the next one is called The Promise, and this is by Damon Galgut. And this is a modern saga that could only have come from South Africa. So haunted by an unmet promise, the Stewart family loses touch after the death of their matriarch. Adrift, the lives of the 3 siblings move separately through the uncharted waters of South Africa. This looks like a good story. Okay, Jodi Picoult. We've got a lot of fans here. So, Wish You Were Here. So this is in regards to a young woman. She's got her life planned out. So she'll be married by 30, done having kids by 35, and move out to New York City suburbs, all while climbing the professional ladder in the cutthroat art auction world. But she's not engaged just yet. but she knows her boyfriend, Finn, a surgical resident, is about to propose on their romantic getaway to the Galapagos. You know what I'm trying to say. But then the virus that's felt around the world appears in their city, and there's a change of plans. She decides to continue on her trip without her boyfriend, who is stuck working in the hospitals. But almost immediately things go awry. She loses her baggage. Things just aren't going right. And in fact, the whole island is now under quarantine, and she's stranded until the borders reopen. So she goes on an adventure. And in the Galapagos Island, where Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection was formed, Diana finds herself examining her relationship, her choices, and herself, and wondering if, when she goes home, she too will have to evolve into something completely different. Jodi Picoult. Okay, the next one here, this one too is a really popular author, Nora Roberts, and this is Becoming, The Becoming. And so this is the second book in this series. The first one was called Awakening. And this is an epic, a new epic of love and war among gods and humans. Book number 2, the world of magic and the world of man have long been estranged from one another. But some can walk between the two, including Bren Siobhan Kelly. So it's about gods and humans. And this is book number 2. I have a wait list for this one too. Lots of wait lists. If ever, for some of you who might not know the procedure, if ever somebody recommends a purchase of a book, 100% that person who recommends that book will be the first to read it. It's just a courtesy to them, and then we keep adding people to the wait list as the book becomes popular. Okay, another really good author, Brene Brown. I have a lot of people who like to read her books. So this is an atlas of the heart. Brown takes us on a journey through 85 of the emotions and experiences that define what it means to be human. As she maps the necessary skills and lays out an actionable framework for a meaningful connection, she gives us the language and tools to access a universe of new choices and second chances. Brene Brown. Oh, I didn't notice this, but this is not your traditional format for one of her books. So this one has quotes, it's got pictures. Very nice, very nicely done, actually. And the picture in the front, I don't know if you guys could see it, it says, "We are the map makers and the travelers." Nice. Okay, a couple of kids' books. The bedtime book. This is by Todd Parr. You can usually recognize his books just by the illustrations. Todd Parr. And so animals are trying to fall asleep, but there are so many things to do before getting ready for bed. Parents can relate to that. Exoplanet. Dear Planets, Can We Be Friends? This is by Deborah Underwood and illustrated by George Lacera. And so this is a fun little book. When Jupiter notices a planet circling a far star, he enlists the other planets in our solar system to send a letter, but soon there is a disagreement on which exactly is the exoplanet. These are great books. They're just fun stories, but they also touch on nonfiction. And so you get to educate your kids at the same time as you're reading. You get to learn about all the different planets, and yeah, this is really fun. look at their faces. Oh, that's cute. Okay, junior novels. So this is Seven Ghosts, and this is by Chris Priestley. And this is about a young boy, Jake, and the other finalists in a writing competition have been invited to a stately house for a tour like no other. As their guide leads them through grand rooms, hidden nooks, and magnificent grounds, they hear the stories of seven ghosts who haunt the halls. But strange shapes and shadows follow Jake as he journeys through the house. And with each tale that Jake hears, he begins to feel more uneasy. All is not as it seems, and soon Jake will discover that something is very, very wrong. Creepy image there. The Golden Hour. This is a graphic novel, and I love the front. Look at the front. Isn't that like so Manitoban? You see the skyline, the city skyline. Kids sitting on hay bales out in the fields. I love that. Golden Hour. Okay, so this is after witnessing a violent attack at school, Manuel struggles with anxiety, but his cell phone camera helps him find anchors when he disassociates, and an unexpected friendship opens up new possibilities. And this is, written by Nikki Smith. It looks like the prairies. Graphic novels are a great way to engage young readers and talk about different issues that they might be going through or trying to grasp a way to understand things around them in their world. OK, so là, on va changer à les livres français. So, j'ai fait rentrer beaucoup de nouveaux livres en français et plusieurs sont comme livre 2, 3 de les séries qu'on a déjà fait rentrer. Alors, la première, c'est par Lise Bergeron, Les cendres de l'innocence. Puis ça, c'est tome numéro 2, Le Grand Magasin. Ceci prend place en 1930. Alors, il y a maintenant 3 ans que que la paix a regagné le cœur de Jérémie Gaillotte. Son travail au commerce de Joseph Huot lui permet de croire qu'il a trouvé à son patron un ami fidèle, bienveillant tel qu'un père. Le vieil homme attaché à la famille et son employé lui propose même déménager dans sa grande maison vide depuis trop longtemps. So, numéro 2. Ceci, c'est une nouvelle série. Ça, c'est livre numéro 1 par Claude Coulombe, qui s'appelle Le chant des bruyants, le frère perdu. Alors, ceci prend place dans la région des Appalaches en 1907, quand Blanche accepte d'épouser Zéphirin, un veillant fermier. Elle met de côté ses rêves pour se consacrer pleinement à ce qui deviendra une famille nombreuse. Je vous lis pas plus que ça. On a aussi fait rentrer des livres mystères. Alors ça, c'est une série mystère, livres 1 et 2. Le mystère Soline. Au-delà du temps, c'est livre numéro 1 et le Vallon des loups, livre numéro 2. 1, 2. Excuse. Alors, ça, c'est un livre qui prend place dans le temps contemporain. So, Louise Favre a âgé de 12 ans lorsqu'une terrible catastrophe naturelle bouleversa sa vie. Par Marie-Bernadette Dupuis. Livre 1 et 2, série de mystères. Ceci, c'est une autre série de mystères en format de poche, des plus petits livres. Les enquêtes de Maude Delage, numéro 1, 2 et 3. Du sang sous les collines Un circuit explosif, les croix de la pleine lune. Plongée dans les enquêtes de modelage, nouvelle recrue, aussi charmante qu'impétueuse de la police d'Angoulême. Un couple de marginaux est retrouvé mort dans un souterrain. Une voiture explose sans raison apparente lors d'une course d'automobile dans la vieille ville. 3 hommes et 2 adolescents disparaissent non loin de Villebois-Lavalette et l'un d'eux est retrouvé mort, victime d'un meurtre. 3 enquêtes à haut risque pour une toute nouvelle enquêtrice. Nouvelle série d'enquête. OK. Michel Langlois. Ça, c'est livre numéro 4 dans La vie avant tout, puis ça s'appelle Par monte et par vaux. Alors, La vie avant tout, c'est une série, ça c'est numéro 4, puis ça commence comme dans l'ancien temps, puis ça, là, on est approché, c'est 1984, Québec. À présent, âgé de 60 ans, Maxime Marion, brillant journaliste, est au sommet de son art. À la demande de son patron, il fait une rétrospective de sa carrière, se replongeant dans ses souvenirs de 35 dernières années. Revivant les événements politiques, sociaux et culturels qui l'ont marqué. Il constate alors que sa passion pour son métier a fait de lui un homme résolument solitaire. France Lorraine lance à la joie, ça c'est ton numéro 3, Clémence. Alors, on a commencé avec les 2 autres livres, c'est les 2 autres sœurs, puis là, on a Clémence. La 3e tome de saga aux couleurs de Gaspésie par l'auteur de inoubliable série La promesse de Gélina et Marie-Camille. La trilogie s'avèche alors que Clémence, cadette des sœurs Gérard, s'installe au village de Lens à la joie. Ce ne sera que temporaire, le temps de faire le point dans sa vie, du moins ce qu'elle espère. OK, numéro 2, dans la série La lumière du Ritz, puis ça s'appelle Les heures sombres. Montréal, 1914, alors que la ville a balayé par les rafales de neige, les occupants du somptueux Ritz-Carlton profitent avec satisfaction de leur confort. Adeline et Julien ne regrettent nullement d'avoir rejoint leur tante au sein du personnel de l'hôtel, mais les relations entre Philomène et son neveu se révèlent toujours aussi tendues. OK, puis là, Louise Tremblay de Saint, elle a une nouvelle série qu'elle a nommée La Place des Érables. Et puis, on avait livre numéro 1. Maintenant, on a livre numéro 2, Casse-croûte chez Rita. Et numéro 3, c'est La pharmacie V. Lamoureux. Ça, c'est une belle petite histoire au sujet d'un petit village et tous les personnages y inclus. Puis ça prend place dans les 1960. C'est comme la place d'érable des commerces de petite série. OK. Puis là, on s'est fait demander de faire rentrer une série. C'est une série un petit peu plus vieille. Le premier livre était écrit en 2009. Mais on a plusieurs personnes qui commencent à lire cette série. So this is an older series, brand new here in the library. We've had several patrons ask to bring in this series from another library. So we decided, you know what, we're just going to purchase it, and then this way we're being economical. So This is Ellie Griffiths, and this is Dr. Ruth Galloway Mystery. So this is a series of 10 books. They're all here. Some more here. Some more here. Some more here. So this is book number 1. I'll read you guys the bio for book number 1. Basically, it follows a forensic archaeologist, Ruth Galloway, and it's her story, her mystery story. So when she's not digging up bones or other ancient objects, Ruth Galloway lectures at the University of Norfolk. She lives happily alone in a remote wild place called Saltmarsh, overlooking the North Sea under Norfolk vast skies. For company, she has her cat, Flint and Sparky, and Radio 4. When a child's bones are found in the marsh near an ancient site that Ruth worked on about 10 years earlier, Ruth is asked to date them. The bones turn out to be 2,000 years old, and DCI Harry Nelson, who called on Ruth for help, is disappointed. He'd hoped they would be the bones of a child called Lucy, who's been missing for 10 years. He's been getting letters about her ever since, bizarre notes with references to rituals and sacrifices and quoting the Bible and Shakespeare. Then a second girl goes missing, and Nelson receives another letter, similar to the ones about Lucy. Soon it becomes clear that Ruth is in grave danger from a killer who knows that her expert knowledge is being used to help the police with their inquiries. So this is book number 1, and we have all the way up to book number 10. So I know that I'm going to have a very happy patron over the Christmas holidays. She's going to get to bring these all home. So if any of these books interest you, please email or call us, and we will place these on hold. This will probably be the very last book news or book buzz of the year. Christmas is coming. We have lots of videos that are being posted. I want to thank all the families that have supported us over the past year. 2021 was quite the year, similar to 2020. But I want to thank all our patrons and all our supporters. I want to thank the Village de Saint-Pierre and the Arm of de Salaberry for their financial support year after year. The province of Manitoba, who gives us our operating grants. And of course, lastly, our patrons. You guys are fantastic. You guys are always so supportive. I love that you guys are involved in the library. You guys always suggest things that we could be bringing in, like programming or specific series. So anyways, I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for making 2021 as successful as we could imagined it to have been. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas holiday, and we'll see you all in the new year. Take care. Joyeux Noël. Et bonne fête à tout le monde. Au revoir.